I grew up in a neighborhood that was a lot of fighting. It was also around the time that it was early 70s, Bruce Lee, that whole thing was hitting. In fact, the first martial arts I got involved was boys club boxing. And then from there, I think it was Tang Sudo, and after I did that, I did Wall and then Shotokan. And there was a period there where I did Capoeira, and then I met a bunch of I actually started learning martial arts from when I went to Capoeira. There were other guys who were already maybe 15, 20 years deep in other arts. So I got to pose a lot of training, a lot of eclectic knowledge. And I worked with Impact, Boston, and over there one thing led to another. I ended up becoming the guy who actually trains the new instructors, and so I've been doing that for quite a while. In fact, that's probably the biggest acting job I do. The way that particular training works out, there's a lot more to martial arts than self-defense. There's a lot more to self-defense than martial arts. So when you're teaching self-defense, you focus just on that specific mission. And the best way to do that is the closer you can create what really goes on in a real self-defense situation, the more likely the students, if they ever do get attacked, will be able to respond because you've acclimated them to that type of situation. So the way we do that is we wear armor that allows us to take full contact strikes to the head and to the groin, and we act out the characters that, from what we know from studies, stories people have told us over the years and stuff of how attacks went down. So we'll say the types of things that attackers typically say, and sometimes that means you're playing the rapist. Sometimes you're playing someone that they know and they told you what this person was like, the student. The big difference is you're acting, but you're dealing with somebody who either lived through this trauma for real, or you're creating what is in the training scenario something that is fairly traumatic, but they're learning how to fight and get out of it and get through that. I did a little thing for a 9X commercial. If you remember way back, they had those 9X commercials where they'd, like it'd say dumb waiter, and they'd show like this waiter coming up going, duh, what's your order? That's it. And this was the same people who did the commercials. They were doing an industrial film, kind of an orientation if you wanted to work for 9X. And since it was like a half-hour long, they had like this little running story in the middle of it, because not everyone who's showing up is going to be interested in every job 9X has. So it's to kind of keep everyone kind of entertained. And my part was I was a ninja. And the two characters I was playing off, someone was like an Indiana Jones type thing, and the woman, I forget what she was. But basically they come walking up, and then all of a sudden I have to do a bunch of flips. I was younger then, I could do that stuff. I did a bunch of flips, I swang some swords around. And the funny thing about it is every time they were telling me, okay, Mike, get ready. And up to this point, I'm the guy not talking to anybody in the ninja suit off in the corner of the warehouse swinging swords, and no one's talking to me. They think I'm nuts. They're all a little afraid of me. So then I come over, and they go, oh, we're sorry, Mike, we'll call you back. And this went on for like 7 or 8 hours. So I guess maybe on my face I was fed up. So when it finally happened, I came out and did it. Originally, they were supposed to pull a rug out, and I was supposed to fall down or something. That's how they got out of it when I came at them, confronted them. But now it was like they were so far behind time, the director said, hey, Mike, would it be okay if she hands you some flowers and you sniff them and kind of skip away? And he's like really dancing around it, like, oh, it's going to be a big problem with this macho guy. And I was like, yeah, sure, I don't care. So she hands me the flowers, and I sniff them, and I went, and I skipped. The problem is we had to film it like 10 times because everybody, the camera, everyone kept laughing on this thing. And it stank because it never made it to the final cut. And I thought it was the best thing, and then it didn't make it. This thing I kind of fell into it more or less. And as far as the choreography, doing choreography, I wanted to do that years ago. I had all kinds of ideas. And it's funny because the cinematic, more dramatic stuff that would go into a choreography fight is the exact opposite of the stuff I teach people in real fighting. You'd shorten things down. So in some ways, when I got the chance to do this choreography, I had to kind of dust off that part of my brain and pull something out that would be cool to look at. So I was trying to keep it cool to look at, yet within the realm of yeah, this is still doable. This could happen.